Welcome to Centering on the Account in Marketing Cloud Account Engagement. I'm Mike Creuzer. I'm a Pardot Partnership and API Integrations Lead at Serconte. I blur the edges of what Marketing Cloud Account Engagement can do using the API and custom integrations. I'm excited about this topic. I've been working on this for 5 years. So a bit of a knowledge check. Pardot, it's been renamed to Marketing Cloud Account Engagement, or Account Engagement for short. And I'm still struggling. I've been using it since 2013, and it's still Pardot in my head, and it's still Pardot on my tongue, and it's going to take me a while to use the right new name. When I talk about prospects, this is the marketing version of leads and contacts. Prospects can exist only in account engagement, or they may also be linked to a lead or linked to a contact in an account. Just a little bit of making sure everybody knows. I'm going to be throwing these terms around, make sure everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? When we talk about marketing, a phrase that comes up a lot is account-based marketing. This can be a variety of different flavors, different versions, depending on which book or books you read. But really, it's key account, named account marketing, where we're trying to treat the entire account, every person on that account, trying to give them a consistent, same story. We're treating that company as a individual customer, even though we know there's many people in that. We're having a conversation with this. The whole point is to build consensus, because company A can sell one thing, company B can sell two things, all solving the same problem. And company A, everybody can agree what that one product company A sells. Company B could have both products are actually better and cheaper than company B, but because we cannot get a consensus on which one of the two company B products to buy, company A ends up getting the business because at least everybody can agree on second best. So that's what we're trying to do with ABM is build that consensus. So we get that approval across the board. Yes, this is what we want to pay for. So if we look at account engagements marketing, right? This is right from their home screen. It's to build lasting relationships with customers through scaled, personalized outreach while aligning with sales and service. Personalized outreach, alignment with sales and service. Those are the key two words, and we'll come back to that over and over again. And we're dealing with our CRM. Sales sells into accounts. They don't close leads. Like you don't hear Salesforce, I closed my lead today. No, I closed this account, right? Service doesn't do leads at all, right? They work with contacts at an account, cases with an account, right? Prospects, not in their language. They don't care what marketing's doing with prospects as long as we don't hold their leads, steal their leads from them, right? This means our source of truth is an account, the account. Now, if we go back to one of the key phrases in account engagement's value statement, it's personalized outreach. This is optimizing. Pardot is really good at optimizing for accumulating interest, gated content, stuff like that, and details. So marketing can MQL the prospect. It's great for demand gen. It's new lead generation. Phenomenal technology for that. When we're dealing with account-based marketing, that bias towards that early funnel means that we double down on that individual interest. We are not set to build that consensus. If somebody's interested in a thing, it will really easily just, reinforce that confirmation bias for that individual, rather than what we're trying to do is tell the same story across every person on that account. There's no native lead to account matching within Pardot, which is a frustration. We have some account to lead matching in Salesforce provided by Pardot, but we look at that account object and we see these leads also. These are also leads that could belong to this account. So there's some of that, but from within the actual, at the prospect level, we don't have that lead to account matching. And basically all we have is Source Hammer for Salesforce to Pardot sync behavior, especially from Salesforce to Pardot. We've got one option, and our knobs to turn on that are basically just switches. We can't adjust that as we see fit. So our hurdles. These animal pictures were in the sample deck. I love them. They're so cute. I'm leaving with it. Just deal with it, right? First hurdle we have to overcome is which prospects belong in the CRM. Once we figure that out, we solve for that. Then our next one becomes leads in the CRM that are actually contacts on accounts. That's another hurdle. And then the third hurdle is bringing it all back in. Are all of our accounts on an account, are they actually in Pardot? Because a lot of times they're not. So those are our three major hurdles. The whole point of this, unpopular opinion, is we want sales to set the story. Sales is talking to our people, talking to the customers. They're hearing the problems that the customers are trying to solve. They're hearing what competitors are also at play. They know how those competitors sell against us. They know how to answer to those competitive advantages successfully, right? We need sales to set the story so that way we sell the right product. Now, marketing talks to a lot more people at a company than sales does. Marketing scales in a way that sales never can, but we need sales to set that story. So that's my end goal with all of this. So hurdle one, which really we want our qualified accounts. So those are accounts, if we look at our BANT analysis, they have budget, they have, I'll skip authority is a contact thing, but they have need, they need our product, and they need it in a reasonable amount of time, right? The time is right for them. So these qualified accounts are who we want in the CRM. We can call these named accounts key accounts, top accounts. There's a wide variety of names that we can call them. We also probably want all of our open opportunities. Everybody that marketing's talking to that's related or not related, but at the same company, that an open opportunity. We want those connections. We're chasing that land and expand concept, right? Hey, I've got an open opportunity. I'm talking to a person. Marketing, who else is at this company that I ought to be talking to? Bring those into the CRM so sales has visibility of everybody, trying to find that one person that can make or break the deal. That's called buying center identification, right? Whatever your ABM book is, that's, figure out what the words are and how we can move these around, right? We also need our net new demand gen, but that's not a topic for today. How do we build this? In Marketing Cloud account engagement, the first place we start is an automation rule. Like automation or dynamic lists to build these because I can reuse them in my target lists and sending emails. But we have an automation rule, and we can do things like looking at company names. Not happy with that. There's so many forwards. Email domains, it's pretty good as long as your person's not using a Gmail account or something like that. But we could build these big, long lists of all of our key accounts, target accounts in Pardot, and we can assign those people by the sales assignment rule, right? This is an exercise in TD. We get 10,000 named accounts. That is many hours of type, copy, paste into Pardot. Automation Dreamin. We're not interested in the many hours. Let's make it easier. So there's tools available. This one has a terrible name, but this is a web app where you can paste your big long list of company names, and on JavaScript, this doesn't get submitted to me. I don't see what you're pasting into this. You can paste this in, and this will break the data up into the Pardot pieces. So we can just easy copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And it takes a lot of the work out of creating those manual lists. But that's still not full automation. This is automation Dreamin. We can do better. We can use the Pardot API. So the Pardot API allows us to talk to Pardot under the hood and start making changes to the data. We have a product, so Conte has a product. I know this sounds like a sales pitch, but you can use the API. You can make your own. We call it Prospect Updater for Pardot, and this allows us to manage these account lists in a Google Sheet. Really easy to copy, paste, like all of everything into a Google Sheet. And then the next time a record gets updated, it gets compared to this new Google Sheet. We can flag them, matching accounts, mark them as key accounts or whatever. And this is really powerful. And it's so much easier than manually maintaining these dynamic lists of email accounts. Automation Dreamin. Let's do this better. What if we automate this automation? What if we create a Zapier or whatever tool you use, and we see that on our Salesforce record, we change that record so that we mark that account as a key account. And then we update that Google Sheet that we used in the prior slide. And now we've got one salesperson making an edit on the account, and things just automatically happen in Pardot. And life is grand. I love it. Our second hurdle. Lead conversion, right? Manual process. I have a lead. I want to deduplicate it, connect it to the account, create the contact record, make some adjustments, right? This is tedious. This doesn't scale. So we can use automatic lead conversion flows, Apex, and stuff like that. And there's a variety of options out there. There's app exchange packages that we can use, and we can just write a flow like this matches. Let's convert that lead. We can create some Apex codes. We have a little bit more control of how we want it to work for our business processes, because we can make adjustments to the Apex, right? And we can write flows to detect these leads that ought to be contacts, and then auto convert them. But there's even better ways. We can go to third-party tools like Lean Data, Demand-Based Ringlead, and we can fully automate this capability. I'm most familiar with Lean Data. I love their fuzzy matching for their lead to account matching, where they could look at email domains, company names, addresses, phone numbers, and a wide variety of things. So even if we get that Gmail account, Lean Data can still say, oh, this lead belongs to that account. And they can auto-convert that. And they can assign it to the proper record owners. They can route things to BDRs. It could cause a lot of automation to happen for us in amazing, amazing ways. So our third hurdle is contacts that ought to be in Pardot that aren't. So how do we do that? Well, out of the box, we get our marketing data sharing rules, which allows us to kind of say these records should be in Pardot and these don't. But that's just like an on-off, and it doesn't automatically send. We have a setting in our connector where we can say any record that's automatically created as a lead or contact, create in Pardot as well. But that's at Thor's Harmony. That's just, there's not enough nuance there. It's not going to be good enough for our businesses in most cases. So there's another tool. This one's free. This is a app exchange package, Flow Actions for Pardot. Haven't changed the name yet. Where we get flow controls that allow us to use that Pardot API and send data into Pardot with the API. And we don't have to worry about that with this tool. So it takes care about the Apex requests, HTTP requests, and stuff like that. And it just issues the cans. And it could do a lot of different tools, but a lot of capabilities. But the one we're interested in is send to Pardot. Upsert latest by email. That is an API command. You can do the API commands yourself, but there's a app exchange package for that. So why reinvent the wheel, right? And what that can look like in our flow is we see that, that key account checkbox or whatever our business says, identifies our interested accounts are, that gets turned on. We trigger on that record. We get all the contacts. We look at those contacts to see if those contacts are already in Pardot. Pardot created date. I like Pardot URL, Pardot underscore URL, like does it exist in Pardot as a nice clean signal. And then if they're not in Pardot already, we can then turn around and we can create those missing records in Pardot. All we have to do is send an email address. The normal Pardot to Salesforce sync will connect all the rest of the data. And now it's connected to the lead already, or the contact record already, and connected to the account, and everything kind of lights up in Pardot for us when we create these records this way. It's a really powerful capability. So now we've centered on the account, right? We have the account in Pardot. We have the records in Salesforce. How do we make money with this? How do we make this work? Well, remember, sales sets the story. That's our goal. And that means marketing mines sales as lead. Funny. Marketing now has complete account access for all records that are associated to an account are now visible at the account level, right? Our open opportunities in Pardot, we can see that product interest. We can start sending content around that opportunity primary product, and we can build that consensus. We can do things like, this is a late stage opportunity. It's at 90%. Marketing, we want to be quiet. We don't want to put a discount in front of a customer that's morning that they're signing a PO from with the sales team, right? Because it's giving away margin. So sometimes the best thing marketing can do is just be quiet. Any account planning fields that sales management may have in place, those become available to sync to Pardot, so we can start seeing some of that sales planning under the hood. This is our product. This is our story that we're selling, stuff like that, right? Sales gets all the activity visible, collected in account engagement, becomes visible to sales, available to sales, so they can have a better understanding of all the activities happening on the account. And we can go from gated content to customer 360 in minutes. Marketing wins as well. Biggest one's reporting, right? We get more complete Salesforce reporting because more of our records that we want to have in Salesforce are in Salesforce. Our Salesforce campaign tracking becomes better because of that. B2B has more data available to us because a lot of the records are now CRM records and not just Pardot prospect records. Then the other side of that, we have more prospects in our, more interesting, important prospects in our database to market to try to activate that account, bring it forward, find that right time to have that conversation with sales, right? And the best part is it's the highest value accounts because they're our key accounts, the ones sales are actively working on, are in Pardot now. And so we can basically just raise ROI on everything. We get better clicks, better opens, everything happens because we're working with sales to communicate with the most engaged people. So with that, if you have any questions, there's a chat, and you can ask questions in the chat. But you can also reach out to me at Creuzer on Twitter or LinkedIn or however you want. And I'm a big believer on automation. So I'm a big fan of what I'm doing. I've been working on this problem for 5 years, and I finally have all the pieces to put together. I'm looking at the chats. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, that was a great concept. I've been working on it. It's the pieces are finally available. So thank you for your time.